Fill your thirst beside the river. Wash the journey from your hands. Feel the comfort flow inside you. Come this far, you understand.
Hi, welcome to Healing Outside the Box. This is our 148th show. My name is Rosemary Lachance, and I'm an energy healer and a spiritual teacher. I am the host for this thought-provoking series, and I'm dedicated to providing you with food for thought information and answers to all modalities of alternative healing, spiritual development, animal welfare, environmental concerns, and so much more in the form of guest speakers who are experts in their field. To find out what shows are playing in your area and when they are playing, please contact the public service channel in your town. To find out their website, giving you their address and phone number, please check my website where you will find a list of all the towns that aired this show under Healing Outside the Box. We will give you that information at the end of the show. And also, please like us on Facebook under Healing Outside the Box, where you can learn about and see pictures of our past guests and ask questions or leave a comment. We hope you enjoy the show. Okay, our guest tonight is Lisa Wilson. She's from the Raw Food Institute. She's the founder and director. Welcome, Lisa. Good to have you.
Thank you, Rosemary.
Okay, the title of the show is Energy and Cellular Healing with Raw Foods. And I'm going to give you a little bit of information about Lisa. Lisa Wilson is the founder and director of both the Raw Food Institute and Real Food Institute, a 2013 winner of Best Raw Vegan Retreat Center and Medical Awareness for Raw Food Award. She is an international speaker, writer, consultant, certified health, nutrition and wellness counselor, fitness trainer, and mom to 3 kids. Wow. She lectures at events, corporations, universities, and women's groups and schools. Lisa enjoys turning people onto the tremendous therapeutic benefits of raw and living foods that reboot the body in a profound way. The Raw Food Institute is a national healing, educational, and detoxification center that offers 7-day immersion courses in Simsbury, Connecticut, or 8-week online training courses. Lisa's mission is to promote healthier, happier living through a plant-based raw food diet. Okay, the first question we ask Lisa, everyone, is what made you get into this line of work, this field, what you do?
Well, nutrition started when I'm the mom to 3. My kids are now 10, 12, and 14. But when they were 2, 4, and 6, and I had these little babies, and as a mom, you know, I moved to Connecticut. Well, we moved to Connecticut, and I was choosing our house based on the best schools. So as a mom, we want the best schools. We want to put our kids in the best sports programs. We want our kids to be fluent in foreign languages in elementary school. I mean, we want our kids to have the best. And so as a mom, what I knew for sure is that what I put in their body for food would completely determine the outcome of their entire life. Mm-hmm. And living in this culture of meat, not meat, soy, not soy, dairy, not dairy, it was very confusing. The messages were very confusing, and I honestly didn't know what to do as a mother. So I went back to nutrition school for that reason, for no other reason.
Wow.
This life found me, but for no other reason but to feed my family the best food. So
that's great. That's really great.
Yeah, that was how I found nutrition.
And then you made it your life's work. Little did you know at the time, right?
Little did I know. I graduated from nutrition school, and really, then I wanted to see clients, and you know, my kids were in preschool 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I thought, well, I'll just see clients, a couple clients a day on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that's how it started. But from there, I was invited to start working at an integrative medical practice. It's the largest integrative medical practice on the East Coast in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
And it was a dream job. I mean, it was like a pinch me, I'm here kind of job.
Right.
So I got in there, and what I started recognizing fast were that the people going to an alternative holistic clinic were the sickest of the sick.
Really?
So these are people that had tried conventional therapies, maybe didn't work, so they said, I'm sorry, there's nothing left we can do for you, or people who knew that they wanted only holistic therapies. A different group of people, and like I said, they were the sickest of the sick, from cancer, disease, heart disease, Lyme disease, diabetes. I mean, unique,
Wow.
We can't figure you out disease. And
Right.
and I knew that just getting them on better foods was not enough. Like, getting them off wheat, upgrading their grains, gluten-free, dairy. I mean, that wasn't enough. They really needed cellular reboot in a big way. And I knew this because a friend of mine had healed her cancer, her colon and ovarian cancer, 22 years ago with raw
Wow.
foods. And she's still a raw foodist. So I knew what I didn't know, and I didn't get this at nutrition school. I really had to do my, I didn't know the benefits of wheatgrass and barley grass and green juice therapy and energy soups and, flooding the body with these micronutrients in combination, what we can do to just really completely, just rebalance us and change us on a cellular level. So I knew what I didn't know, like I said, so I had to go out and educate myself, figure out what was the best protocol to use, and then I started trying with clients, and ridiculous things started happening.
Really?
I mean, we started seeing whatever they were doing with the holistic physicians, this took it times 10. It could just accelerate their healing, and they could just, it was amazing. I mean, the doctors started coming up to me going, what are you doing? and we now graduate doctors, nurses, you name it, and conventional too, because they're recognizing that, hey, this helps what I'm doing.
That's
helps
good.
everything work
That's really
better.
good. Getting them to
Exactly.
to do that is hard. Yeah,
It is.
That's really great.
It is.
Really is. Okay, so that's a part of it. What my next question was going to be, why eat raw? There's more reasons than that, right? So tell us a little bit about.
Yeah, for decades, we know for sure that this has been working. There were some of the pioneers in the field, Dr. Ann Wigmore, Dr. Max Gerson.
Right.
Many of these original pioneers, we know that it's been working for decades, but what I've watched is science trying to articulate or to try to figure out why it's working.
Right.
So, I've looked
that's
at the
good.
science, and, when I first got into this, for about 50 years, I think, they were saying heating food or cooking food destroys 100% of the enzymes, and frankly, that theory has been debunked. It's not true.
Oh, it's not true.
It's
Okay.
not true. And cooked food still has enzymes.
Okay.
So that science didn't work out so well. Then we looked at, is it pH? The pH Miracle Book, for example, and that tells part of the story, but not all of the story. They used to say that cancer only grows in an acidic environment, or disease only, thrives
Right.
in an acidic environment. And it tells part of the story, but our stomach has to be acidic to break down food. Our skin has to be acidic, our bladder has to be acidic. So, like I said, it tells part of the story, but not all the story. So it's a useful tool to know your acidity, your pH of your urine and your saliva, but it doesn't tell the whole picture, the whole story. What most people agree on now is that it's the energy of the food. So, for example, with Carillion photography, we can now take a picture of a piece of broccoli, and it's got a beautiful aura, it's got all the colors, it's living. You can microwave that same piece of broccoli, and it's black, it's dead, there is no energy.
Yeah.
So when you eat this
Color.
living, energetic food and all the colors of the rainbow, we are living energetic beings, and it gives us life. It's the life force. So we can, I think, pretty solidly say that it's the life force of the plants. And again, it's the massive amounts in combination, the juices, the energy soups, that are the living foods, the sprouts, that are so incredibly healing.
Okay, we've heard this word so many times, but maybe you can tell our viewers, what is an enzyme? Enzyme, what does that mean?
Oh, good question. Okay, so there's many, many, many different kinds of enzymes in the body. But for example, if everybody's watching, if you chew with me right now, so just sitting at home on your couch, just move your mouth. So what's happening? Saliva, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay, so what is in your saliva? Enzymes.
Oh.
Free enzymes. So you can pay some money at a health store or on my website and buy enzymes, and that might be useful for some people who really need them. But we have enzymes, but so many of us Americans are eating so fast. We are shoving food in our face on the way to work. We're eating in the car. We're standing at the counter. We are not taking the time to pause, to sit, to slow down, to use our own digestive enzymes to help.
That's what they are? Enzymes are digestive juices?
They help break down the food.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, there's a beautiful, you would like this, Rosemary, a beautiful experiment that I do at the Raw Food Institute. I take 2 bowls of oatmeal, cooked oatmeal, and I will take 4 digestive enzyme capsules and open it into this bowl and stir it around. We'll come back 30 minutes later and look at it. And you know what a bowl of oatmeal looks like sitting 30 minutes? It's all kind of hard and gloopy. Mm-hmm. This one turns to liquid.
Oh.
And it's such a great visual because then we can go, if I'm not chewing my food, or as we age, we produce 13% fewer enzymes than we did the decade before.
Oh.
So a 30-year-old has way more digestive enzymes than an 80-year-old. So if we're not chewing our food, if our bodies aren't producing enough enzymes, if we're not breaking our food down, you can look in the toilet and you can see what you ate the night before. And then it's not being absorbed into the blood, and then you can eat the most useful foods, but if you're not absorbing, it doesn't do any good. So enzymes are critical, so critical, and that's digestive enzymes. Then there's metabolic enzymes, and those are produced in the pancreas, which is why the pancreas is pancreatic cancer is one of the most challenging cancers. Because if the pancreas is compromised, all the other organs are compromised because these metabolic enzymes sort of care for the other organs. So the metabolic enzymes are really, really, really important as well, produced in the pancreas.
And do they come out when you chew too, or
no?
they
Those
go into
are
the body?
Completely different. I know, like they should be called maybe something else. But Dr. Nicholas Gonzalez in New York does a lot of work with the metabolic enzymes and the pancreatic enzymes. So our body has hundreds of different enzymes going back to the digestive enzymes. You know, all the enzymes are meant to break down different things. You know, the casein, the proteins, the fruit. You know, they're all meant. So we have hundreds of enzymes in our body, all for different uses.
Now, are you saying if you eat broccoli and you look in the toilet the next morning, it's green, or if you eat beets and it's red, does that mean your body is not digested it?
No.
Or what?
Have you ever looked in the toilet and you've seen like a bean or a piece of corn?
Oh, maybe corn.
Yeah.
Corn doesn't break down as much. Yeah.
Right. Some people will literally see chunks of lettuce or goji berries.
Oh, like that. Okay. Not to color, but just pieces of food.
Yeah, just chunks of food.
Okay, gotcha.
Right in the bowel movement.
We need to get that straight. We don't want to talk about the toilet bowl, but it's important. People should know that.
It's important.
Yeah.
And the color can be influenced. But if you eat a lot of green stuff, it's going to look more green. If you eat beets, it's going to be kind of purple.
Yeah.
So
right.
don't be alarmed by that.
That's okay.
That's normal. Yeah.
Okay.
Normal.
Because someone once said that was not normal, that it meant you weren't digesting it if it was green or whatever. And I could not agree with that, you know? No, I didn't think so. Okay, so we got that. Okay. So I'm asking you, what about raw food is so nourishing and healing to the body? What is really the bottom line here on that? Besides digesting it, I mean, look at you. You look great. You're mother of 3 children.
Thanks.
You see her out there, folks. Look how great she looks, like
Thank
a teenager.
you.
So what is the?
Well, part of it, there's 2 parts. There's raw food, which is uncooked, but there's also the living food. And what I mean by this is, I grow in my sunroom sprouts. And the most medicinal sprouts, pea shoots, sunflower, and buckwheat. Those are the sprouts I grow in soil. And it sounds like, whoo, that's a lot of work. But if I can do this, anybody can do this. I grow these trays like this, and if you go to a Whole Foods market or any market, and you buy a little baggie of sprouts, you're going to pay $3.50, $4.
Right.
So a whole tray has a 10-day growing period, super easy to grow, doesn't need sunshine. You can grow it in any condition in any house for about $1 a tray, maybe $1.50. So you're getting 6 salads out of this. So I can literally walk across my sunroom, and it's on a wall that doesn't get sun, clip my salad, put it on my plate, and I've reduced my environmental footprint, but because my salad didn't come from Chile or California or something like that. But B, these sprouts are living as I'm eating them. They're still growing. So it's that living food that when you start to eat these living foods, again in massive amounts, they just supercharge the body.
So what were the 4 kinds that you said you grow, so the audience can copy it?
I grow sunflower.
Sunflower.
Pea shoots.
Pea.
Buckwheat.
Oh, buckwheat. I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
Really? Makes a nice sprout?
A nice sprout, beautiful. And I also grow my own wheatgrass or barley grass.
Okay.
Those are just my soil sprouts. Then I have really easy, all of the legumes you can grow in your jars.
Right,
grow the little tails. And you can do so many of those: garbanzos, lentils, fenugreek, so mung beans, all of those you can sprout in your jar.
Beans.
And so ridiculously inexpensive. You know,
Right.
people say I can't afford to eat healthy. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, you can put a little bit of mung bean or lentils, anything in your jar, and in 48 hours, you'll have a full jar.
Wow. So you put those in salad. You make salad with them.
Yeah.
Now, I had microgreens at a friend's house, and then
Yeah.
I saw them in a health food store. I like them. They're nice. They're little. What are microgreens, though? I have no idea what they are.
Same thing. Okay, so what I just described, the 48 hours in the jar,
Right.
you do the same thing with clover sprouts, broccoli sprouts. You sprout them, and then you move them to a tray, and then they grow. So, you know, super easy.
That's all that means?
That's all that means, that they're just little minis.
Yeah, they are. They're little
Yeah.
mini. So you pick them earlier? Is that why they stay little?
No, they happen to be a really tiny seed. You know, the little clover sprouts, the little broccoli sprouts,
Clover
but
and broccoli. Okay.
incredibly therapeutic and medicinal as well.
Okay, so those you eat raw like in a salad, right?
I do.
Yeah. Well, that's good. All right. So, what was I going to say? So, do we need, yes, you're right. They're saying too acidic a body can cause cancer. We need more alkaline body.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you saying that you need both a balance or what? You said there's so much talk about that.
The stomach is naturally acidic,
Right.
so that it breaks down foods. So, no, we do need more alkalizing foods.
We do.
And these green juices absolutely are more alkalizing. So the jury's out on the alkaline water. I know some anecdotal stories of people who swear up and down by it, and that's fantastic. Most doctors suggest that the water we drink shouldn't be neutralizing the stomach acid, so it doesn't need to be really high alkaline water. And if you are drinking alkaline water, to put it in between your meals so that you're not putting out the digestive fire while you're bringing in the food.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
So I don't drink alkaline water. I drink spring water, and the alkalinity is about a 5. And we find that water coming out of the side of a mountain, which has been filtered naturally. I don't drink the chlorinated, fluoride, chemical
Right, yeah.
recycled water. I go up to the spring and collect my water out of the side of a mountain, and that sounds like a lot of work, but you know what? It's difficult to articulate on a cellular level how different your body feels when you start drinking spring mountain water that has never been touched.
I don't even give my cat water from the faucet. He gets spring water just like me.
Excellent.
Yes. Oh, yeah. He's my baby. So, when what really happens to the food then when you cook it? It just everything is like out of it. You said the enzymes come out and
Well,
what?
here's the thing. When we humans, we used to forage for food. We
Yeah.
would eat plants, mushrooms, berries, this kind of thing. And when we started cooking food as a species, brains got bigger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did. We could measure this. The brains got bigger because in a sitting we could eat more food. So when we don't want to go backwards, but the thing is now we have technology. And so we have the ability to have concentrated foods in things like blenders and juices. So we don't have to cook it to get that concentrated food. We can actually blend it, we can juice it, and we can be getting just a flood of nutrients with technology, which is a really cool place to be in the world right now. I mean, juicing is not new. Juicing was happening during World War II and before that. People knew that if you had a wound, you could go into the woods and make a grass poultice. Put grass juice on the wound, and if you juiced, you had to do it yourself.
Right. Yeah.
It's a lot of work just to put it through a juice machine. So imagine the amount of work. So the technology that we have today, we're so incredibly blessed to be able to make these foods. And I think, if I had to say the most exciting thing for me is that, like I said, we've always known that these things work. But now some of the science is catching up. So for example, there's a book by Dr. Joel Fuhrman called Super Immunity, and he talks about Gomes theory, which is greens, onions, mushrooms, beans, berries, seeds. So I'll repeat that. So
say it again.
Greens, onions, mushrooms, beans, berries, seeds. And what he found is that these foods in combination in your body, they have the ability to manipulate or change your DNA. So I
wow.
think, like, that's it. Show's over. That's done. Good night. We don't have to, I mean, how crazy is that? We used to think, oh, it's genetics, and my mother had it, my grandmother had it, my aunt had it, and I'm destined to whatever they had, and that's just not true.
Oh.
Yes, that's genetics, but they're suggesting now, the experts, that that's about 5%, and 95% is what we put in our body. So we can completely influence the outcome of our entire life based on the food that we eat.
What were those things? Say them again slow. They can write
Sure.
them.
GOMS, so it's a little acronym, GOMS, greens, onions, mushrooms, beans, berries, seeds, in massive combinations. So you start flooding the body. And I know, if you're sitting there at home and you're like, holy cow, I'm still on mac and cheese and eating, soup from a can. This sounds overwhelming, but this is not about willpower. This is about skill power. And, thank you for saying that, I look slim and I look pretty good for having 3 kids, but I didn't always. I've been 40 pounds bigger than this. I have had purple cystic acne that I was ashamed to show my face.
Oh, wow.
And, I would hide behind my hair. I would try to pull it in my face. And I'm the daughter of 2 smokers that own Dairy Queens. I grew up in Dairy Queens with all the junk food that, you can imagine. People think, oh, she grew up in a garden, this is easy for her. And I didn't. I had to learn this, but it's just a skill. It's like learning to do the pot roast. It's just a new skill. And once you start doing it, you start craving it because you start to feel so ridiculously good.
Really?
And I can't, there's no way, there's just absolutely no way I could go back to eating that, Dairy Queen foods and sodas and chips and candy and pizzas. And
You never treat yourself to anything like that, huh?
That's not a treat.
Okay, but people think, people considering it a treat.
People still call that, and I admit with my kids, my daughter was like, make sure you say this tonight. My kids have a 90-10 rule. So
I have a what?
90-10 rule.
90-10?
90-10.
Oh.
So 90% of the time, we eat amazing foods in our house. And 10% of the time, when they're at a party or with their friends or after a soccer game, we bless the food and we look the other way. Because there is something sacred about sharing bread with friends, about the social community. And we don't, we live in a society that doesn't eat the way we do. So we don't want to alienate ourselves.
Right, yeah,
we don't
that's
want
true.
to be the weird ones.
That's
Although
true.
I don't even care anymore. I bring my green juice in and I don't care. Because I feel so good. But with my kids, 90-10 rule.
What about eating of animals? You don't do that, right? Or do you?
Well, okay, so here's what I would say to that. The raw diet is a fantastic tool for people in a healing crisis. I feel best when I'm eating high raw, which means I eat a mostly raw diet. A lot of people get onto raw and they feel really fantastic, like they feel so good, but then maybe 4, 5, 10 years later, they start to, maybe they're deficient in B12, which can happen. Maybe they're deficient in vitamin D, which can happen. So we have to really look at the bio-individuality of a person. We can't say, here's what I say, if you're in a healing crisis, man, if you have cancer, if you have diabetes, if you have heart disease, I don't care what blood type you are, I don't care what, the raw vegan diet for healing to reboot the body is fantastic. I don't know anything better. I don't know anything better. Does that mean that it's the best long-term diet for everybody ever on earth? It's not.
Okay.
There's too many emotional issues that go around food.
Yeah, there are. That's true.
Giving up cooked food for some people, it creates sugar cravings. They're craving the fat, so they go to chocolate, or, so I don't work with coaching. I don't work with individual coaching anymore. I did that for years and years and years and years and years at the medical practice I worked at. But when I was doing that, you have to get in there and ask the right questions and figure out what's right and appropriate for you and what makes you feel good. Because what makes you feel good doesn't make me feel good. Or, because we have genetic heritage, we all came from different backgrounds, we all have different DNA, and we're different. We're different. So if we can get the whole world, let's go down and say this tonight, if we can get the whole world off of sugar and off of processed foods, woohoo! Let's go home. That's all we need to do. But then once you do that, then you might want to, you go, wow, that raw food person that I met, she looks amazing. Her energy is great. Her skin is clear. You might want to try that on and see how you feel. And, do it for a year, 2, 3, 4. keep checking in with yourself, see how you feel. And again, in a healing crisis, boom, boom. Like it's so useful.
So, like, us Italians who like our pasta.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that's not really a good thing to have in raw foods, right? I mean, in that kind of a diet, right?
Right.
But that would be hard, the pasta, the bread, to give it up. Yeah. I heard what you're saying about emotional issues because that represents good times. Every
does.
Sunday was the spaghetti and the meatballs and the da-da-da-da and whatever it was, and the lots of Italian bread and dunking it in the sauce and all that, So that would be hard. Emotionally, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't think about that, but that's true. Emotionally, it would be hard for some people to do that. So how do you suggest? Slowly, a little bit at a time?
Well, it depends. Again, if you're in a healing crisis, there's no slow.
You have to.
You got to go there now. So, to address Italian dishes that are so tasty that we all love, the raw food movement has come up with solutions to that. So, for example, I have a spirulli machine. It's a hand crank machine. I hook a zucchini or a squash up, I crank it through, and it looks like noodles coming out the other end.
Right.
In my Vitamix, I can make a raw marinara that would knock your socks off. It's amazing.
Really?
Yeah, with sun-dried tomatoes, which give it that tomato paste taste with herbs. And you can put that right over marinara. And it's not your grandmother's spaghetti, but it's really yummy.
And you don't cook it, right?
You don't cook it. It's all raw.
So it's cold.
Well, you can, room temperature. You could even put it in your dehydrator, which would take you, on a plate, and you could take it up to 105 degrees, so it would be warm but not destroying any of the nutrients.
And you put that over a vegetable, like spaghetti squash or something, or over pasta?
Yellow squash or zucchini. You literally crank it through, and it cuts it into what looks exactly like a spaghetti noodle.
Okay. Or spaghetti squash too, right?
Spaghetti squash too. Yeah.
So do it that way.
Yep.
To not have to give it a. How about the bread thing?
Yeah, the bread thing is tough.
Yeah.
Sort of the answer to that, there are some wraps, like coconut wraps, that you can make into a nice spice. And you can have a wrap, which I realize is not a bread. There are some breads that we do in the dehydrator made out of seeds and nuts and onions. Like there's a really nice onion bread.
That's right.
A little spongy. I mean, it's not
Italian bread.
It's not Italian bread.
Right.
But frankly, grains and my body, if I eat oatmeal or if I eat bread, I mean, my head is on the desk. I have zero energy. Zero.
Really?
So knowing that about my body, I've lost the cravings for things like that. I mean, I don't even desire that anymore, to tell you the truth, because they just slow me down and make me feel sluggish. So once you start really getting in tune with your body and knowing what turns you on and what makes you feel awesome and what makes you feel sluggish, you don't want to feel that way. I can't feel that way. I'm busy. I work, and even at 3 o'clock, my kids come home and then we're headed to sports and activities. I have to be on from 6 in the morning until 10 at night. I have to be on. I don't have time to be sluggish.
What about beans?
Beans,
you consider that cooked food? Yeah, beans. Like say you have a salad and you want to put chickpeas in there, or red beans or something like that. What about that? I mean, if it's already cooked in the can. I know that. So that's an off-limit thing, right?
Well, the garbanzo beans or the chickpeas, I can sprout.
Okay.
So I just do the sprouting process. I soak them overnight, and then I rinse them every couple hours for 48 hours. And then voila, I have the chickpeas, and they're frankly better than the can. They're crispy, they're yummy, they're alive, they're great.
Now these are the beans or the sprouts from the beans you're talking?
You have the chickpea.
Yeah.
And then when they're raw, what you can do is soak them overnight in water.
Right.
This neutralizes the phytic acid, because beans don't really give us gas. It's the phytic acid that we're not trained to soak them in our culture, because we have to have it now, have to have it fast. But every other culture knows this. I mean, if you start studying culture, they all know that you soak your beans, your seeds, your nuts, your legumes, everything gets soaked to A, neutralize the phytic acid, which makes it digestible so we don't get gas, and B, brings it from a dormant state to a living state, which is what we're doing.
Even nuts, you're saying?
Nuts and seeds too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we soak the garbanzos overnight, and then I can put them in a nut milk bag or a mason jar with a sprouting lid. And what I do is I walk in the kitchen, I rinse, I dump, I rinse, I dump, and you leave it upside down at an angle so it's getting air through there. And it's going to grow a little tail. And when the tail is twice the size of the body, about 48 hours, your sprouts are ready. And then I just keep all of my beans, so my garbanzos, my lentils, my mung, my fenugreek, all in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks. So you go to make your salad, you just grab whatever combination you would like.
So you'd have a little chickpea there, but you'd have sprouts out of it coming out, right?
The tail, it has a little tail.
Okay.
That's twice the size of the body,
Okay,
about.
but you still have the bean itself.
You
Right,
do.
it looks like the bean. Okay,
You do.
yeah. That's
Yep.
that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. So, what would you say? Like, if I said to you, okay, how would I start a raw diet? What would I do? I mean, you can't go all at once, right? You can't go drastic or not. What do you say? What do you advise?
Well, when people have to or would like to go drastic, they come through the Raw Food Institute. And
Yeah, they would have to.
I mean, the reason I started the Raw Food Institute was because, for a couple reasons. I mean, I couldn't possibly speak to so many people. You know, when people start having these profound results and they sit in the lab and they tell the person next to them, you have to see Lisa Wilson, she's as important as the doctors for healing, word spreads pretty fast. So I was literally running ragged, seeing clients from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and I couldn't physically see any more clients in a day. I had to go to a group setting. And the reason I did a 7-day cleanse is because to know and not to do is not to know. So people go, yeah, I've heard of that raw food thing. I know all about it. No, you don't. If you haven't been through it and felt what it feels like to get rid of the stimulants, the caffeine, the chocolate, the, whatever your thing is, the meat, to cleanse for 7 days. And to really, when you start doing that, it's called a Herxheimer's reaction. Some people get headaches, tongue coating, body ache, they get nauseous.
Fall asleep, they can't seem to function.
Yeah, and that's a wake-up call to, wow, you've been assaulting your body with toxins for way too long. And so in that 7 days, they might have highs and lows. They might feel, some people vomit, some people have diarrhea, some people pass parasites. And
Really?
This all sounds absolutely horrible, but you want those parasites out of you, not in you.
Right.
And so at the end of that period of time, usually people come around and they start feeling the bliss because they've really cleansed.
If they can make it through that. Doesn't happen to everyone, I guess.
It doesn't
right?
happen to everyone. And I would say maybe 30%.
Oh, that's not bad, yeah.
Yeah. But they have to go through that to get to the bliss. So where were we? You'd asked a question. I think I totally got
Oh,
it.
yeah. How would you start me out?
Oh, how would I start you out? Start easy. Like a salad a day keeps the doctor away.
Right.
So, people like my brother, for example, I don't think has had a piece of vegetable in 20 years. And,
Really?
According to Time magazine, 97% of Americans can't remember the last time they ate a salad.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, and it comes back to, education and economics and a whole lot of factors for this. But just, if you're working in a work setting and you go out to lunch with your colleagues, just bring a salad every day. Just start there. And put some sprouts in it if you can, or some lettuce, and make it colorful. Some radishes, some carrots, some fennel. Like so the sprouts that we've been talking about.
Right.
Put some fat in it, some seeds. So some sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds. All of these, sesame seeds loaded with omega-3s, great brain food. Put some pumpkin seeds in there, and then some nuts. Selenium, 3 Brazil nuts a day, all the selenium we need, and it's going to nourish the thyroid.
Really?
How many of you watching have thyroid issues? So,
Yeah, right.
I mean, you asked this question because all of our thyroids are affected these days practically from the radiation from Fukushima. So lots of people have low. I had overactive thyroid for a while, and you can neutralize it. You can turn that around. You can turn that around.
What about taking a selenium
You don't need supplement. And in fact, you can overdose easily on selenium supplements.
Yeah,
So,
I had read that.
So, and it's very hard to on Brazil nuts. So I prefer the natural source, 3 Brazil nuts a day. It's like literally on the counter with my supplements because that's all it takes is 3 Brazil nuts. But I try to
Really?
put them in the salad.
That's good to know. That's very good to know. Very
Yeah.
good. I'm writing these things down, so if anybody calls me, I can tell them, and I can also for myself.
Nice.
Yeah, salad. Like myself, I love salad. So usually, at least 5 days a week, I'll have it, and it'll be like my lunch or a meal, or
Yeah.
before supper or something like that. Now, Juicing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. There's so many out there. I got on the internet and I looked at different juices. It didn't look very appealing. I'm not crazy about fruit juicing. I would rather do vegetable, put something sweet in it. You know, like I have a green tea or something, and an apple and lemon or something like that in it. I don't know. But what's the best juicing?
Well, you're right about the fruit.
Just an all fruit smoothie. I don't know.
And I don't recommend it. It's way too much sugar for the pancreas to
yeah.
handle. So, I mean, is it better to juice an orange or eat an orange? Eat an orange any day of the week because it's bound with fiber and your body can actually slowly absorb the sugar. Whereas juicing it, bang, right into the bloodstream. So, especially when you start talking about massive amounts of juice, it's just no, don't ever do it. It's a disaster.
Right.
But green juicing, on the other hand,
yeah,
is miraculous. And it's loaded with chlorophyll. When you make a green juice, so let's talk about a quart of green juice.
Okay.
It takes a pile of vegetables to do that. We're talking 4 or 5 cucumbers, 2 stalks of celery, maybe a head of kale. Maybe you're doing 2 bunches of parsley, which is fairly inexpensive. And I love the parsley and the cilantro because they're going to bind with heavy metals and eliminate them from your body. And then you can make them tasty with lemon, lime, ginger, garlic.
Okay, lemon, lime, ginger, garlic. You don't put any sweetener in it at all.
If you need sweetener, go for a couple drops of stevia. If you need sweetener, now, okay.
What about an apple or something like that? What mixes well?
Once you get used to this, you don't crave the sweet anymore. But if you're introducing somebody, you want to turn them on to green juice. In fact, I mean, I just talking about green juice right now, I mean, I'm craving it right now. I should have brought one with me tonight.
But yeah, you should have. I could have tasted it and see what it was like. Yeah.
If you want to turn somebody on to green juice, put something sweet in it. Put a green apple in it. A green apple is less sweet than a red apple, less sugar. So do a green apple or a little piece of pineapple or papaya or something like that.
Yeah, pineapple, that's good. That helps digest too.
Make it sweet, but don't do that forever.
Not overly sweet. Just
not overly sweet.
Just something to make a taste yet.
Yeah. But if my day falls apart and nothing else happens, juice happens.
Really?
Green juice is my lifeline. It makes me happy, it keeps me going, it keeps me energized, it keeps me slim, it keeps me healthy, and it keeps me confident that I'm keeping disease at bay. Now, we're living in this world where we are assaulted on a daily basis by toxins.
Right.
The air, the water, the chemicals in the food, over 8,000 chemicals are legal in our food supply, and none of them have ever been tested in combination with one another. It's not even food anymore. And so, we've been, as a child, antibiotics and, the whole whatever I ingested in the Dairy Queen. We have to make up for that. We have to, be conscious and mindful and make up for that. We have to constantly be, re-inoculating the gut with probiotics and healthy fermented foods.
Right.
So the juice on a daily basis makes me feel good, makes me feel alive, makes me want to sing, gives me my energy. Like I said, it's loaded with chlorophyll. So think of it this way: plant blood, human blood, chlorophyll, hemoglobin, the closest thing we've got to hemoglobin. Now, somebody's always going to ask, because I know you're sitting there wondering this. You're sitting there wondering, can't I just blend it? I don't want to throw it away. The fiber, right? Everybody wants to know that. So if I make a quart of blended greens, right? Remember how I talked about 5 cucumbers, 2 heads of celery, like how much goes in it to make one concentrated quart. Okay, so now we've got this concentrated quart of greens. There is nothing on the planet, no vitamin, no salad, no green smoothie, nothing that can come close to the nutritional density of that green juice. This is why every single therapeutic healing institute on the planet, except every hospital in America, but the authentic healing institutes like the Raw Food Institute, the core of it is green juice therapy. The core is green juice therapy. I mean, I don't care where you go, Hippocrates, OHI in California, Tree of Life, Living Food Institute. You go to Puerto Rico, the Ann Wigmore Institute. Green juice. Green juice is front and center at all those places. So, so back to that question that I was like, I put you on the edge of your couch and you didn't answer. So then you have the smoothies, the green juice smoothies. So somebody's going to say, well, can't I just do a smoothie? And smoothies are good, but they don't equal the green juice.
What smoothie is? I mean,
Okay.
see, that's what I don't know. What's the difference between a smoothie and your green juice?
Okay, so the green juice is the plant blood or the juice extracted out of the plant, and the fiber goes out the back. In a smoothie, it all goes into the blender. So let's say I'm going to make a smoothie. I'm going to put in that much of a cucumber. I'm going to put in 2 leaves of kale. I'm going to put in a couple sprouts. I'm going to put in a quarter of a bell pepper. I might put in a slice of avocado to make it creamy. I might put in a little bit of dulse. So some good things are going in, but in order to get that so it's not pudding, I have to add probably 2 or 3 cups of water to that. So it's very diluted. And like I said, that's good, but it doesn't replace the green juice.
Okay, so now what's it, in the green juice? The difference is the things you told me that you put in there.
The amount, like
The amount.
because you're extracting you're only getting the juice of the plant. You don't have to add water. In the high-speed blender, I call it the Vitamix or the high-speed blender, you're getting the fiber, the whole plant. But you can only put a small amount in.
Okay, so now all right. Are you saying to use a Vitamix or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they're both those tools belong in a healthy kitchen.
Okay.
But I'm saying that the smoothie or the green
Yeah.
juice soup, or you can make soups. I mean, they're a very valuable tool. They're fantastic. I worked for Vitamix for years. I love that machine, but it doesn't replace green juice in a healthy diet.
Okay.
So green juice is really critical, and so is that. But it doesn't. You can't just do that and not the green juice.
Okay. So how much of that do you have a day? The green juice?
I have about 5 8-ounce glasses.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Okay. You drink it throughout the day, like?
I do. So I make 1 glass right away, and I start drinking that while I continue to do my juicing. And then I juice another quart, which goes into the refrigerator, and then I sip on that throughout the day.
Okay, so juicing, if you put something like cucumbers and celery, that gives you the water you need, right?
Yeah, those are very watery, which
Right.
is good, because you want your base of your juice very watery. And you could use romaine or something else that's very watery, or head lettuce, something like that. And then you want some sprouts. So the sprouts that I was telling you that I grow, about 30% sprouts. Some dark leafy greens, maybe about 10% of that drink. So your kale, your collards, your dandelion green, your parsley, your cilantro. And then the top 5% makes it tasty, the lemon, lime, ginger, the garlic.
All right, and you could do that in a regular blender then, right?
Nope, that was what we were talking about. Like, you want to keep that in the juice machine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Can
All
you
right.
blend all those ingredients? Yes, but it doesn't take the place of the green juice. And the beautiful thing about traveling, it used to be so hard to travel, but I think there's a juice bar almost on every other corner in New York City. 300 juice bars in the last 10 years have sprung up. So you can go to New York, LA, and a lot of other, I go to Minneapolis and I go to Chicago, and there are great places to eat. You just have to kind of map it out before you go, but we have access to healthy food almost wherever we go. Right down the street from here,
Really?
In
Where?
Fairfield, Catch a Healthy Habit.
Where's it? In here?
Fairfield.
Where you live? Yeah.
No, close to here, Fairfield.
Oh, that's not close to here.
Like half an
No.
hour? How far is it?
Fairfield. Yeah. Yeah. It's about 30 minutes to get to like Milford, so
Okay.
a little bit farther than
A
that.
little bit further.
And what did you call it?
Catch a Healthy Habit.
Oh, I had never heard of that.
Yeah, I'm speaking there in November.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
We'll have to write that down.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? So much I want to ask you. Healthy habit. Okay. What was I saying? Okay, so what about hunger? Do you get hungry or no? Do you get hungry if you just do juicing?
Well, I don't usually just do juicing.
That's what I mean. What do you do some other stuff with, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
salads.
I'm eating raw meals, I'm eating raw wraps, I'm eating the raw pastas, I'm eating the raw pizzas, I eat raw burgers. I eat
Okay.
you can make a million meals. And raw soups.
Yeah, they're good.
The menus are endless these days. I hope that you do, go down to Catch a Healthy Habit and just try some of the foods, because they make Thai wraps, they make, Mexican burritos, and all this is from raw
It's
foods.
all raw.
Yeah, and sauces, and it's brilliant. It's actually brilliant.
Really? What would be a raw hamburger or a raw burger, you say?
Seeds and nuts done in a dehydrator. And seed cheeses, I actually have a couple chefs that work for me at my Raw Food Institute, and I'm not a raw chef. I can find my way around the kitchen. I do okay, and I manage. I'm really into salads and simple things, but my chefs are amazing. And so they can make seed cheeses that taste like Velveeta.
Seed cheeses.
Seed
I've heard of
cheeses.
nut cheeses.
Nut cheeses too.
Yeah, those
And
are okay for you too, right?
Yep. And so you can make seed cheeses and make it taste just like, well, I don't want to say just like a cheeseburger. That's not true. But
No, but
take it really good.
Yeah,
it
I have
good.
had a nut cheese. I forget the name of it. It's a spread like,
Yeah.
and it was excellent.
Yep.
Expensive, but. And then I had some of this Daya cheese that they have. I thought that was horrendous.
Mm.
Oh my God, I hated that. Didn't melt or anything. They say, oh, it melted. No, I didn't find that too. But the other kind, and I think that you may have to, I don't know, I don't see what you could use that would make a shredded cheddar, so to speak, something like that. That you could have to give up.
Yeah, it wouldn't be shredded, but you could make it. When
or
I
cheddar-y.
make a cheese in the Vitamix, like I make a really good cheesy kale chip. So I take cashews, sunflower seeds, red bell pepper, lemon, and nutritional yeast is the magic ingredient.
Yeah, I like nutritional yeast. Use it instead of grated cheese.
Yeah. See. And you can put that in the Vitamix, and it makes this goopy sauce. And then I massage it all over my curly kale because the curly kale will grab the cheese.
Oh.
And then I dehydrate it, and so when you're eating these kale chips, the curly kales have like all this cheese that it's grabbed.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's so good.
So you have a dehydrator too.
I have 3.
You have 3 of them. So that's a good thing to have too, huh? Dehydrator.
Yeah,
So you
dehydrator.
got to have a dehydrator, a Vitamix, which is, I know that's really expensive, so save your pennies. And then a regular blender, are you saying, or no?
No, just
need
the
a reg-
Vitamix. So
just a
well,
Vit-
the juice machine.
What? Juice machine is a Vitamix, isn't it?
No.
Okay. There's where I was getting mixed up. And I think them too.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a juice machine and a Vitamix?
So the juice extracts. So it's like it squishes. Think of that, like the
Yeah.
juice out of a cucumber or a celery, and the juice drips out the front, and it takes all the rest of the plant, the fiber, the dry stuff, and kicks it out the back.
Okay, yeah. Blender won't do that. No.
Blender.
Takes everything together.
Blender, what it does, the high speed, the reason you pay so much for a Vitamix machine, it's a commercial piece of equipment. And those blades spin at 240 miles an hour. And they have the ability to break down seeds, skins, roots. What are the most nutritional
all
parts
the
of a
fiber
plant?
Stays, the whole thing stays, right, in a Vitamix.
Right.
Everything.
Right. And when you, so most nutritional part of a plant, seed, skin, root. What do we throw away?
Yeah.
Seed, skin,
and
root. Right. So we can actually put that into the Vitamix machine, blend it up, break it down to cellular level. It's so creamy that we don't even know that we're eating skins, roots, seeds, and that's part of the most nutritious part of the plant.
Right.
So Vitamix is a must-have in the kitchen, and throw the seeds in there, throw your skin, throw your lemon peels in there. I mean, lots of studies about the medicinal powers of lemon peels, orange peels, as long as they're
there
organic.
is about the peels. Right. The bioflavonoids are in there, right?
Yeah.
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 Now, so a juice machine is different. I think I bought one, what was his name, Jack LaLanne?
Yeah.
Years ago, a juice machine. Didn't hold up so well. Seemed like a lot of it wasted. Is there any special kind you should have, or just buy a juice machine, period? It says juice machine, not blender.
Yeah, juice
Difference.
machine. Well, we're getting into a big topic, but I'll touch on it. So there's 2 kinds of machines. There's a slow press machine, and literally it's augers that, it's called a slow masticating machine. And that will literally press your juice, and it will preserve the nutrients. The other machine, which is the one I think you're referring to, it's a centrifugal machine, and the screen spins really, really fast.
Right.
And it will destroy just enough nutrients for somebody that really needs all the nutrients that they can get in a healing crisis. There is evidence that it destroys enough nutrients to affect their healing crisis. So that's the long and the short. So the best machine is going to be a slow masticating machine. Now, let me tell you this. I'm a busy mom. I work a lot. If I had to stand there every day and watch my slow masticating machine, I wouldn't do it. I have one, and I do it when I have time on the weekends. But I have both. I have my slow machine on my counter right next to my fast machine. So I do suggest a fast machine for people who are busy, because it's the difference between 5 minutes and 25 minutes.
Is that the juice machine or the
juice machine?
It is called the juice. That's the juice
No,
machine.
the brand is called, that I like is
No,
called,
no, no. Yeah, right. Okay, the brand is what?
the Breville. I like the Breville. You can
Breville,
buy
that's
them
a
at
juice machine.
Williams Sonoma. You can buy them on Amazon. Breville. I like that one. It's what I like about it is it's solid. It's got stainless steel parts. My kids can jam lemons down there and make lemonade, and it doesn't break. I mean, I've had mine for years, and it's solid.
See, that's what I didn't know, the difference that a Vitamix and a juice machine. I know
Yeah.
the Vitamix put all the stuff in it,
Yeah.
but I was thinking juice machine, I was thinking like blender. But no, it's a regular juice machine.
And
yeah.
you made a good point. These things are expensive, but they're an investment in your health, and they're probably one of the best investments in your health you'll ever make. I told my husband once when he was suggesting years ago when the kids were little that we need to cut back on the food budget, and I said, you know what? I will wear recycled clothes. I'll downsize my house. I'll live in a tent probably, but my kids will get the best food, because if you don't have your health, you have nothing. And we make these crazy decisions like, we have to put in new flooring or
Right.
and at the same time compromising our health. So these are expensive, but you have to have them. I mean, they're in this day and age, we're in survival of the fittest. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
And we have to flood the body with nutrients. There is no alternative. People are not going to make it.
I know.
And they're not making it.
No, they're not making it. I just saw a commercial on TV tonight. 1 in 8 women are going to have cancer. Wow, that's a lot of women.
That's breast cancer.
Breast, yeah, right. Yeah. That's what I meant. Breast cancer.
In general, it's 1 in 3 and 1 in 2 men.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so it's not a matter of if, and those statistics are expected to double by 2020. Double.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I do like really healthy food like that, and you got me all stirred up for the juicer and stuff like that. I'll have to save my pennies and get one.
Yeah.
And I would like to try that place because I would love a raw burger and things like that. That sounds
Too.
very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get that craving to eat healthy. I don't know what to eat anymore. I'm starting not to like the foods that I do eat. I'm a vegetarian, but I still do cheese.
Yep.
And eggs.
Yep.
So cheese and eggs. So that sounds so good. And you know what I was supposed to tell you? I love carrot juice.
Mm-hmm.
I buy it all made up. There's a couple of people that put it out. It's hard to find sometimes.
Yeah.
The small ones. I love the taste of carrot juice. Now that's good for you, right? They're taking.
It's a little high in sugar.
Oh yeah.
So yes, but not too often.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't have too often, but I do love the taste. I don't know what it is. I adore the taste of carrot juice.
Yeah.
So in the juice machine, will it take beets and carrots? Will it take carrots too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It won't take the grasses. So if you're juicing wheatgrass, you do have to get a slow masticating machine to do the wheatgrass and the sprouts. It's just you put grass in there, nothing will come out. That does require a press, a slow masticating machine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have an allergy to wheat and soy.
Okay.
I can't do soy at all. But it's not an allergy, it's sensitivity.
Mm-hmm.
I won't die from it, but I just break out in all these things. But I found that if I eat organic wheat,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't bother me like regular things you get in the supermarket. And I never eat that.
Mm-hmm.
I only buy organic bread or something, pasta or whatever, or I use the rice or something like that. But try to eat organic as much as I can. Okay. So they don't have to be all raw to experience the benefits of raw foods. You can, right?
Right.
You can eat. Is there anything that you do eat that's not raw?
Well, let me go back to that first thing you said.
Yeah.
I see a lot of raw food educators out there saying you won't get 100% of the benefits without being 100% raw.
Right.
And that's perhaps is true in a healing crisis. And perhaps, try it on and see if it's right and appropriate for you. But you're still going to get benefits if you're 70% raw. Try different things. Like I said, do a salad a day or go raw until 6. So have, and then maybe have a warm meal in the evening. But try it on, or maybe you're raw except on Tuesdays, or just try it on and see what's going to work for you. I think that the last thing that we want to do is say you have to be 100% raw, or you're going to raw food hell. And that's just it makes people feel ashamed when they eat steamed broccoli or Brussels sprouts, and it's gotten crazy. And what I see people moving, because the raw desserts are good, the raw cheesecake, raw cookies, raw chocolate, and they're delicious, and they are way better than anything processed you can get out there. They are a way better dessert, but they do not take the place of healthy meals and all of the green juices. So what I see people do in order to stay dogmatic and to say I'm all raw, They will bring their little cookies with them. So if somebody says, hey, if a friend's house, and they say, hey, I made you some steamed Brussels sprouts or some steamed broccoli. Oh, no, thank you. I brought my cookies or my raw chocolate. And that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I
mean,
think
the food is still good. You don't get as much nutrients
Right.
if it's steamed as you would raw, but it's still good food.
Right.
Right?
And we don't have to be put in this category of I'm raw foodist, I am a paleo, I am you can pull from the best of both worlds, all
Right.
worlds,
Right.
and do what's right and appropriate for you. Dr. Mark Hyman, I was watching him last night, and he called himself a paleo vegan, which is, an
What does that
oxymoron.
What does that mean, paleo?
He means he eats meat, And
Really?
Yeah, he was making a joke.
Oh.
You can't be a paleo vegan.
No.
But his point was that you don't have to put yourself in this category or this category or this category or this category. You can pull from the various categories into what's right and appropriate for you. But I do find that eating a high raw diet makes people feel really good.
I bet you it is. We got about 2 minutes left.
Okay.
And I would say what was the first thing you recommend someone try as a transition to raw foods? What do you think they should do? Like, I say, okay, I want to start. What do I do?
Well, it depends. I mean,
do the salads.
I
already do the salads.
Go to a good cafe and have a really good raw meal because you'll be turned on to it.
Yeah.
You'll say, whoa, I want more of that. Find some really good green juice. Either make it, or a lot of these juice bars are pressing it right now. So just do it. Have that be your afternoon snack and see how good you feel. You're going to feel so good that you'll be like, whoa, I'm hooked. All right, that's it. I'm done.
I know. Right. And the sprouting, they can do the sprouting. That's going to be easy.
That's easy.
It's not expensive, and it's easy.
Yeah.
And put them in their salads and everything. That'll be nice.
Yep.
Okay. Is there any last words you want to say to our viewers in this last minute and a half that we have here? Or
slow down, take care, love yourselves up, forgive yourselves. I think we take care of everybody else before we take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And we have to stop and take care of ourselves because we can give 10 times more when we take care of ourselves.
That's right.
To others when we're taking care of ourselves. So I think that's it. Just stop, pause, take care of yourself. Take a bath tonight, take a deep breath in, go for a walk, it's a beautiful night, and just, enjoy your life. Give someone a hug, laugh, watch a funny movie. All that stuff is good for the soul too.
You're right, that's true. Something I was going to say. The thoughts come and then they talk and the thoughts go away. That's why I try to write down as much as I can. Let's see.
And I will say this: when you get turned on to raw food, it's like, what's next? You learn to ferment. What's next? Then you're going to learn about herbal teas. What's next? Then you're going to, and when you start getting turned on to raw food, it's like your mind is like, and ideas that you were turned off to before, or you blocked out and said, no way, that can't possibly be true. Your mind goes, that's a possibility. Your mind is opened. It's pried way open.
Learning to ferment. That sounds good too. Yeah. No,
yeah.
Well then, okay. So people can get in touch with you and learn how to do that, or take a course, or whatever. You have it online, or they can come down. So I said that. So
4 times a year, we're in Simsbury, Connecticut, at the Simsbury Inn. It's beautiful. You're going to get pampered. You check in for 7 days.
Okay.
I promise you this, it'll transform your life. I promise you. Set aside a time, do it for yourself, because it's worth it.
Well, this has been wonderful. And really educational.
Thanks.
And you really got me going, so I hope that you got our audience going here too, and I think you do. We're going to give your information right now, the contact information. To get a hold of Lisa Wilson, her number is 888, that's toll free, 799-9147. Her email is info@therawfoodinstitute.com. Her website is the awful, what is that?
The raw food.
Oh, I got therawfoodinstitute.com. Duh. Okay. That's how you get a hold. And if this is too fast for you, you'll find it on Facebook, and you'll find it also on my webpage. And to learn more about this show or any of our past shows, please contact us at healoutsidethebox@yahoo.com, or to reach me, Rosemary Lachance. The number is 203-627-7966. My website is www.rosemarylachance.com. We're also on Facebook under Healing Outside the Box. And tonight's quote is this: no pleasure, philosophy, no sensuality, No place nor power, no material success can for a moment give such inner satisfaction as a sense of living for good purposes, for maintenance of integrity, and for the preservation of self-approval. And that's by Manat Simmons. Thank you very much. Good night. Good night.
Come this far, you understand.